Yeah.
So, Nick, have you watched Skeleton Crew or not?
We did watch it. We posted on our Patreon and we did a live stream right after it, which we'll do every single week. Right after we watch the new episodes of this, like we do all Star Wars shows on our channel, and so yeah, we watched the first two episodes. First one was like 40 something minutes. Second episode was like 28 minutes, something like that. So just a little over an hour complete runtime of the first two episodes.
Hmm.
And I will say I'm definitely in the minority. It seems like a lot of
you
people.
hated it?
No, I didn't hate it. I just thought it was very meh. And I really didn't care. And I actually kind of thought it was lame and dumb. But to say I hated it,
Right.
Well, let me rephrase that. I hate it is a Star Wars show because it's not Star Wars. It is not
Okay.
a Star Wars show at all. There's no Star Wars anything in here other than the name and the title Star Wars. It was lame. I I haven't cared after the first two episodes. I just literally don't care. And I don't care about this show before it even came out anyways.
You're mega down on it, aren't you?
Yeah. But
Jeez,
Coach
man.
and Knee Pain and Matt Rissman and Derek Anderson, they all thought it was okay. You know, that they all gave it like 7s and 8s.
I'm sorry.
In between 6s and 8s.
Did you include Rissman in there?
Yes.
You should never include Rissman in there.
Yeah. And I gave it a 4. I gave it a 4 out of 10. For the first two episodes. I'm grading the first two episodes as one episode. Okay. They both dropped last night. The positive things about it, the score was fine. Some of the cinematography was pretty good, but some of the CGI stuff was bad also.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
The inconsistency of the elephant kid.
Yeah.
The facial movements and eyes and everything else, that really bothered me. And I'm only 20 minutes into the first episode.
Yeah. And some of the stuff in the story just did not make sense. It's just like everybody was right where they were supposed to be when they needed to be there. The droid shows up. I'm not going to get too heavy. I don't know. Are we getting into spoilers or
no
light spoilers?
About it, really? It's fine. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I've not watched it. I don't really care, but just thought we talk about it, really.
Yeah. So the kid's like late for school, tries taking a shortcut through the woods, and he's all over the place. He's on this little speeder bicycle thing that he has with a basket on the back, and he ends up crashing, and this is where he discovers what he calls as a Jedi temple, which turns out to be a ship, and and this droid from the school just happens to pop up in the middle of the woods right where he's at and is like, hey, excuse me, you are supposed to be in school. You are in violation. And I'm like, where'd he come from? And how would he even know that this kid was there? So then he's in detention and he's like, oh, I found something in the woods. And then he goes back later on that night. He's talking to the girl in school, and then she is already there. How would she know where this place is at?
Well, you missed that part in the first episode. They watch them go jumping off, and he watches them go jumping off on that scooter into the woods.
No, I know that's how he knew the shortcut, but I'm talking about specifically where this little hatch that he uncovered. How would she know in this woods? That's exactly where he found this.
I honestly wish I cared more.
Yeah,
but I
don't. And then so she automatically shows up, and then the dad is just walking through the woods. He can't find his son, so how would he know to even look in the woods? But then he's in the woods and happens to come find him right as they're like lifting off in the ship. And it's just dumb stuff like that. And then there was a lot of meta crap in it where it's just Star Wars, being Star Wars. That it was like the show was trying to be Star Wars. It was pretending to be Star Wars. You had the kids doing the lightsaber battles. It's literally like watching like the early seasons of the Goldbergs on TV. Where they're talking about Star Wars stuff or Goonies or something else where they're like referencing movies. Star Wars they were referencing it itself, in the show,
Yeah, that's
and I'm just like, this is like supposed to be like a secret planet, and I still don't. This is a whole new thing, so I don't know how they would know about all the stuff that's happening outside the galaxy, because you find out later that everybody else in the galaxy thinks this planet is like a myth, and it's, I don't know, I just. But I don't know. A lot of people seem to enjoy these first 2 episodes, but also at the same time, I think a lot of people, the only people left that are actually watching it are people that are interested in seeing what Disney Star Wars has to offer. After the Acolyte, I think anybody else that had any hope left, a large portion of them are just completely checked out, and I think there's going to be a ton of people that just aren't even going to tune into the show, that at this point they don't even care, and that's honestly kind of where I'm at. I just don't care. Of course, we're going to review it for the channel. I'm going to have to watch it, but I don't care anything about the show. Nothing in it, and I was like, yeah, maybe it'll surprise me. Maybe Disney will turn things around in this show. Big maybe, which I gave a 0.000000001% chance of that happening. But yeah, there was nothing in here to pull me in and be like, wow, okay, this is really, really good. Well done, guys.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting to hear your thoughts. Real quick, Culture. You need to check the private chat, please, mate. So yeah, like pronto, please. Cheers. So I will say this, like, is it not because it's made for kids though, a little bit, or not?
I mean, it's definitely made for kids. It's definitely not made for me as a Star Wars fan. But the thing is, no kids are watching Star Wars in this modern audience that we have in today's time. Nobody cares. I mean, Coach is a middle school teacher, and he already said last night, I guarantee you not one single person comes in and is like, oh, did you watch Skeleton Crew? And, kids are talking about it at school or anything. Nobody cares. This isn't bringing in new subscribers into Disney Plus. And the thing is, with the state that Star Wars is in, I've heard people talk about, this is just going to be a solid, just, base hit show. Why would we applaud a solid base hit show for Star Wars, which is at one point in time was the premier IP in movies? The bar should be way higher than a base hit show on Disney Plus. And this is I think this whole show, it was a waste of money and a waste of time for them in the state that Star Wars is in.
Well, Culture, what did you think of it? Because you didn't think it was as bad as what.
Well, now mind you, I only made it about halfway through the first episode. And it's definitely going to play like not the Wonder Years, but what did you just say? What was it?
Goonies?
No, the TV show.
Oh, Goldbergs.
Yeah, it kind of feels like that. It feels like that enthusiasm for Star Wars. Like these kids are playing at Star Wars.
Yeah.
Which is kind of what I think of all of Lucasfilm right now. They're playing at Star Wars. They don't really understand it. So in that, like I said, in the first half of the show, I mean, I all the reference he was talking about, I recalled. And in watching it, I just found myself not being very impressed. There was a lot of kind of member berries at best. recollections of droids and characters, like stuff you would see on Star Tours. In fact, the shuttle buses that the kids are on remind me of Star Tours.
It's the droid from Star Tours
yeah,
driving
and it
the
is,
bus.
and yeah, exactly, or the old droid from Star
Yeah.
Tours that was driving it. Now C-3PO drives the Star Tours thing, but it's like a lot of references like that, a lot of characters that you remember seeing in the original Star Wars, maybe in the second or third film as well. The original trilogy, and it's a lot of interesting callbacks that will maybe draw some adults in just because it's like, oh well, that kind of looks like it. But overall, it could be like, just as I think Nick said, but I'll say it a different way. It's like generic space fantasy show,
Yeah.
you know, and it's and like there's a lot of dumb, like enormous amounts of dumb. Like when you pierce the hull of a ship, you should be losing atmosphere inside that ship like crazy. You know, and just it's all bad. And again, I only watched the first 20 minutes, half an hour, or whatever it is, the first half of that show. In fact, it's still queued up on my computer right now. I'm waiting to finish it. And I find myself going, why do you want to finish this? I don't have an answer.
It's fair. We got a super chat about this actually from Aurora Uplink. Says, you know what would have been the greatest thing is if they could have got ET's race in this series, and some of them involved in the adventure, and then they have to bring ET home in a spaceship after he was abducted by their government. Get ambling.
Hey, he was in the prequels.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was. But there you go. A bit of Star Wars stuff today. We will